radar in the future, to be honest. I don't know. God is a healer and he can do amazing things, but I also recognize that this might be a thorn in my flesh, and it allows me to depend on God, right?
Mm.
The moment it happens, because it still happens, I still have it now to this day, a few times a month here and there, better than every other day or every day. So this is an improvement, but it definitely is humbling and keeps brings me to my knees asking God for help. So
Mm.
if there's something that is bad in my life that brings me closer to God, that's probably better than comfort that brings me away from God, right?
Mm.
So I'm not upset that I still have it. I mean, I don't like it, but it's something that is character development. And, I think of this as my but if not moment. When you think about Daniel's three friends having to be forced to bow down to the gold statue, um, in Daniel 3, chapter 3, and they say, God, so this is my moment, right? Like God can heal me. He has the power. There's no doubt. And he will, whether now or when Jesus comes back again, we all get new bodies and everything. But if not, but if not, will I still love him? Will I still glorify him? Will I still worship him and talk about his goodness to other people? And I remember having to deal with that question, I think, in the midst of the month when I got everything came back again last year. I was like, yes, my answer is yes.
Mm.
And even though I said it, I have to act on it now. And so that's my decision. And I've been living like that. I'm like, you know what? I know I still have that and I hate it, but it brings me closer to God because it forces me to remember how weak I am, but how strong God is in my weakness.
Mm.
And that's been more of a blessing than anything else that I would have had. Anyways, this is kind of extra. I didn't say this in the interview, but this is all extra. So the interview ends. I leave. I'm like, all right, what's done is done.
Mm.
And technically I'm kind of disqualified in a sense where they wanted someone with experience in the teaching field. So that's definitely not me. I have 0 years of teaching experience. And knowing that I have to work clinically now in some form or another, 1 day a week, minimum 1 day a month, it kind of disqualifies me. So I technically shouldn't have gotten the interview, but praise God, they wanted to chit chat with me. So I'm like, I know they like me, but how much do they like me?
Mm.
um, in terms of would they make an exception? I don't know how that works. So I remember people telling me you should probably apply elsewhere because they might not accept you. I was like, I get it, but God's just been with me throughout this whole thing, giving me little bouts of encouragement. I just believe that this is where I need to be, and I want to show my faith by not applying elsewhere. You know what I mean? And I was like,
Mm.
let me just wait. If they reject me, I'll take it and then I'll look elsewhere. Because honestly, the only other jobs I was able to find as a CRNA faculty like educator would be in NorCal or over in LA. So I'd have to move because and that's just a whole nother level of like change that I wasn't prepared to do yet. So a week comes by later. It's like early June at this point. I get a call. So I was like, okay. So the call is from the dean, the first dean actually, who I talked to initially in December. So she gives me a call and she's like, "Hi Nina, I'm sorry it took so long." But mind you, it's kind of funny that she said that because I'm like, I've been waiting months. And she's just like, a week is like nothing, right? So I was like, oh God, definitely has been working on my patience because I'm happy with a week. So she's like, sorry it took so long. I was like, no, it's fine. She's like, yeah, we just had to make sure you were even hireable. I was like, oh. She's like, yeah, we had to make sure with HR and a couple other people because you're not working right now clinically. And I was like, oh, fair. I kind of knew this, right? And she's like, well, but we were really impressed with your interview and we actually were able to make an exception. We would love to have you be part of the team. Do you want to be part of our faculty?
Mm.
And I was just like, it takes me a while to process because I just was in disbelief. And I was like, okay. And then the excitement came, and what I really wanted to say was like, hell yeah, I want to be part of the team. But that is not professional at all. So I was like, oh yes, I want to be a part of the team. It's my number one choice. Of course. I'm so grateful. And I just proceeded to just be so, just express my gratitude. So
Mm.
we'd had some little chit chats here and there about kind of next steps of what to do, what to expect. So she was like, okay, and like next month you'll have a little contract thing. You have to do a few things and then you can work through the paperwork and then you'll be part of the team. I was like, thank you so much. And then as soon as, I hang up, I cry. I just bawl my
Mm.
eyes. I'm like, what? Like, like to make an accept, I don't know, like I knew they liked me,
Hmm.
but I don't want to feel like I'm a burden or a bother to people, right? It's that people pleasing thing I'm trying to work through still. And they were willing, they wanted me to be a part of the team so much that they made an exception because they knew I wasn't working yet. And I can't even promise them that I will in the future, given my health. I don't know. And I was just like, wow, like that's crazy cool. So I call my
Hmm.
mom. She's the first one I call. But I'm crying, so I'm trying to compose myself and I'm crying. And she hears me crying. She's like, "Oh, what's wrong? What's wrong? Oh no. Oh no." Like she assumed they rejected me. And I was like, "No, no, I got in." And she's like, "They hired you?" Because she thought too, like, well, with the you can't make an exception. You have to
Hmm.
work. You can't work, so they wouldn't hire me. It's just rational to think that. But God is so good. And so since then, I got hired this summer, and I've been doing this job now. I'm a part-time
Hmm.
assistant professor. And I also realized this is the first time they've had a part-time faculty member in the time that the CRNA's program has been made. I'm pretty sure they haven't had a part-time. It's always been full-time people.
Hmm.
So part of it, like they didn't really know what to do with me because they're like, oh, like it's not like I'm replacing a faculty member. They're all there. It's just one of them is cutting back on the hours and I'm supplementing. So I try to find ways to be useful. So I've been mostly helping. There's a bunch of different. The program is a doctorate, so it's a little bit under 4 years. So there's multiple classes each year. I have a new class, and so if you think about freshman, sophomore, junior, senior vibes, I've been mostly working with the sophomores essentially, and trying to come up with reviews with them. And I like to make things fun, so I gamify it. So
Hmm.
I do like a family feud, which they really like. So I make it like a competitive way to like review anesthesia concepts that they just studied. I also help them in the skills lab, so learning how to intubate, put in spinals, epidurals, like central lines, A lines, like work through complications, pulmonary and cardiac complications, and talking through clinically what I've experienced. And that's been super fun. I love the student interaction, and I love my students and they like me too, so it makes it for a really fun dynamic. I struggled with telling them why I switched to teaching because I didn't want to lose credibility and I didn't want to lose their respect.